Hello all, this is the first and only video for SOV, Schedule of Values. More and more GCs are asking for this as a submittal, and since yours is incredibly informative and colorful, they'll be impressed. Also, with project management, you can use it as tracking for your man hours out in the field, and the accountants can use it for procurement. I have some ideas moving forward for exactly that. First off, I have QuickBooks here, update report. I know comparatively very little about QuickBooks. I had downloaded the subcontractor version, and I was frankly appalled to see that there wasn't really much room for labor. Perhaps I wasn't going into the right spot. It seemed to me that it was very good at figuring out how many widgets you can sell by year-end date. But as far as labor, it didn't really seem very robust. I need someone to show me how to do it. I will fly out to your city, and I will hang out for a week and make a very nice product. So I'm looking to create an SOV, a CSV file or an Excel file to, export into QuickBooks. So as far as the other part of this, I have here reports, which I have done nothing with. It's here. The idea is to do phases. So procurement, Fab 1, Labor 1, doors, Labor 2, whatever. So the idea is to create a schedule and just phases of the job to make sure you're on track. Also, I may want to move forward on Google Sheets for something like this because of its mobility. I do prefer Excel. I'm sure that Excel is available on a tablet or whatnot. I think Google Sheets is a little lighter. So whatever you may prefer, let me know, and I'm looking to move forward with that. The other idea I had was to basically copy this entire thing, paste it down here, and then use this as like a well to draw from. So if you purchase the glass and it's $46,000, you would put it down here, and then it would maybe create another sheet showing that you're up, $1,600, whatever. So there are any number of directions to go with that. The actual design is not the concern. What customers would like is. So let me know. Any feedback is appreciated. 610-442-8918. Give me a call, Matthew. Okay, so for the actual sheet, we have all of the items shown vertically. We have install man hours, and they are all equal to their given sheet. All right. So there are no real functions in here. It's very straightforward. Equals SFG, da-da-da. And then install is based on open shop install. And I'll get to this in a second. Let me put this back. So it's based on open shop for each discipline. And I'll get back to that in a second. It is subtotaled for the labor, and the utility is broken out. I understand that some companies prefer it like that, and they also prefer it sometimes in the cost. I believe it exists in labor, but it is broken out for you. So here's the total labor cost, and then we have cost, markup, tax, sell. So I wanted to keep this to 4 columns. I'll just show you an example quickly. Aluminum here is equal to IND 4, F4, and F7. So that is including aluminum and ship. All right. So I had to combine some of them. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 openings, and only 4 areas to put it. So I wanted to keep it somewhat short. I had to combine some of them, So just be aware of that. There are values on here that are nowhere else. For instance, $615,000 is the cost of all of the storefront and curtain wall, you know, total labor. Anything in this column is generally not found elsewhere. Aluminum doors I have broken out for exterior install and interior install. They are then totaled along with the material. Right? You know, everything is shown. Incidentals, all glass, fire, all the same way. It has your typical, you know, hide unused, XYZ. You may come across a not applicable. So let's make it not applicable on purpose. So we're going to go to AG1, and this is generally the culprit. NA will go all over the place, right? So you go to the end and say, hey, it says NA, which is here. So you can go back. So you can see that it's in the glass column, right? So you can go over and look for NA and find the culprit, all right? So let's see, here it is, all glass. So there's, whenever you see it in this one, that's basically the culprit, right? So this is going to end F85. You would track that back, and you can just look at this, all glass 1. So you go here and see if there's a problem, and oh, look at that. So just be aware of that. Let's see. Okay, a couple of things here. So okay, so everything here is based to the cent. Let's see if I can find one. There you go. And this is based on cents, while this here is based on the nearest 5. So there's a function in final where this column here and this column here are rounded up to the nearest 5. So materials 92,965 on SF1. Sorry. So we have 92,964.20. 92,965. So that 80 cents of difference is getting put into this column here, round. Right? So here's your subtotal. Here's your alternates. And then this is equaling exactly to the last one, final. That's another fun little check. You'll notice that here there's no prevailing wage. This entire sheet is based on open shop. AU4 times open shop times open shop caulk, open shop fab, all right? So those are all referenced from here. This is OS install, OS caulk, and so on. So a couple of ideas to understand. Anything down here, okay, so this area is a throw area to adjust the total previous to bidding. Senior estimator labor add, I'll just say, I don't know, Z-clamps. The senior estimator comes in and they say, we need, 26 man hours instead of 20, right? So that extra 6, in this case 6.2, is being put into here according to the open shop install price, and here according to the prevailing wage if the alt add is chosen. I don't want to get into that, but the point I'm making is this needs to be put back in to the items, or else the SOV just will be that much off. So we have Z clamps, we got to get 6 back in, right? So this is what the open is for. We'll go 1, 6, 2.5 would have been the same. How about that? So there we go. We put it back in. and we're off, like, it's going to be just a little bit. Do realize that these are, there you go. So it's off 4 or 0.4. So yeah, $40. There you go. So reset. We'll get rid of this. Yeah. Anything miscellaneous, you have to put back in too. Once again, this is just something that you can throw it in for whatever you want. Okay, so the other idea is prevailing wage. Now, you don't want to get stuck doing this process here because you are supposed to be providing prevailing wage as an alt add, meaning that you're not sure if it is required. Generally, you would be on the phone with the GC and asking, are we definitely doing prevailing wage? And then, you know, he might not be sure of the first bid, but he will be by the second. Make sure that you migrate these values in anticipation of getting the job and making sure that SOV is correct. Before I make this change, the transit will stay the same after it's adjusted, but I'll show you that in a second. So you have to migrate the values that you added for the alt add from prevailing wage to open shop. In this case, fabrication was not added in, nor was transit. All right? So fabrication will stay and transit will be adjusted. So we're going to go 170, 170, 85 is going to stay the same. And then you have to just kind of finagle this price to get this transit back, basically back down to, you know, 94 around there and get the total job back to where it was, right? So, you know, do whatever you have to do, 6%. There you go, 96. Whatever it might be. So in order to get this correct with transit figured, you know, it's best to switch over to prevailing wages as quickly as you can. The other idea I want to show you is how the SOV is incorporated with establishing this. Right? So this is equaling SOV. So it is integral to this entire sheet working properly. So this is SOV BH4, 5, 6, 8. I try to make it equal to exactly what it is. I avoid doing formulas, you know, more complex formulas when we're dealing with the SOV. It's supposed to be very literal, I guess. So 8273 is here. And this is figured by adding up all the totals all the way down. All right, so there's there. So the cost of the man hour is established here. It is then applied throughout. There's your man hours there. It is then captured on SOV and summed, which returns it back to final to establish this and, you know, give you your totals, right? And that is generally it. Just make sure that you take some time to make sure it's final before you sign the contract. Get this all figured out, sit down with whoever's signing it, check your labor, check your totals. You know, you have all the information in the world there. Send out your RFQs again, stuff like that. So it's a great tool to make sure that you're on the same page. It's a great tool to convey what you're bidding. And that is it for the schedule of values. Thank you for watching.